Well, my 6 years in China now, I can tell you that governments are run differently. Economic policies are run differently.
Yeah.
And truly, I can say this because I'm a China bull.
Yeah.
Okay. That there is a government in place that is concerned about every citizen, whether it comes down to the price of milk, price of eggs, cost of living, how can they maintain that cost of living, not just domestically, but from an international perspective. And this is where we're going to see two nations come head to head here. And what I've seen in the last couple of days with the Canadians saying, right, you need canola oil. It's a very good product. It's great and it's healthy for our people. We're going to lower the tariffs, China.
Yeah.
China's going to lower the tariffs. In return is we want to introduce new energy vehicles. Now, there's a lot of skepticism on that. You saw the Premier, Rob Ford, basically say, it's going to destroy the automotive industry. If it does, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's a 3% test of 50,000 vehicles going into that market. We're going to see that these vehicles are more affordable to Canadians. Do you have that philosophy, even though it can be America first, that maybe, just maybe, the consumer should get the choice now?
Let me answer that in a different way, because I'm going to look at everything you talk about. I look at it through an economic lens and a mathematical lens. You see, so a question for you, do you know what the price point is of these new vehicles?
Yes, I do know what the price point is, yeah.
Yeah. So is it like up to...
So basically, what the negotiations is because automotive industry employs a lot of people in Canada.
Yeah.
I think 400,000 plus.
Right.
So the government looked and it says, okay, who and what is the competition for China in this market? Under 35,000 Canadian, nobody's making those cars. So they said, China, if you got cars that compete at the $35,000 level, we're going to give you a slot for about 50,000 automobiles to test it out.
Okay, so let me answer based on that framework then. If you've got a marketplace, right? So Canada, Western country, it costs more to manufacture vehicles.
True.
Right? Your wages are higher, your energy costs are higher. There's a lot that's higher. So what's going to happen is you've got a higher price point of vehicles. So if you've got this group that's lower down, then initially it's not going to affect anything. It's actually going to give those people who would have bought a used car the option to now purchase a new car that is not lower quality, but it's a lower price point. So it's going to affect the used car market. The next thing it will do is a lot of people will say, well, I'm not going to buy this car. It's Chinese. I'm Canadian. I don't know anything about China. Are these cars any good? Is it a driving coffin? You hear things like this, right? Right. So this is what's going to happen. But you always get people that will adopt. They're the sort of radicals that will try something out. They'll try it out. You'll see videos online. You'll see media reports eventually saying this stuff's good. These vehicles are good. So what it will then do is it will start to impact the higher priced vehicles. So this is what you're going to see. Yeah. So we'll take a share of those cars, but this is going to all balance out eventually. But yes, it's good for the consumer because it will cause deflation in higher ticket pricing. Now, when it comes to taxation, things like that, that's a whole nother story. But just to answer that part of the question.
I think we're also comparing combustible engines to new energy vehicle which are two completely different elements. One is China are the leaders on this. Manufacturing for these cars is much more affordable. Lifespan of these cars is longer. I think the biggest elephant in the room here, and only I think a guy like you can answer this, is this strategy that has finally now been accepted by an Americas, we'll call it, the hemisphere of America, which the America First Trump administration is trying to protect. Of course, regime-changing countries because it's within their hemisphere. Yeah. Now they've got a country that has opened the door to China, and these cars are coming in. Will this spill into the United States?
I think probably not. You may think yes. I think probably not, because what you're seeing is a real hard line now. So the last time we talked, I think it was before that, we talked about this flip that I saw coming. And a lot of people didn't see that flip, but I did see that flip coming from a more hard left environment to a more hard right environment. And I don't think that could have happened before because the circumstances and the environment wasn't ripe for it.
Right.
There's certain things that could never happen in history unless you had extremes of the other way. And the pendulum swings. Actually, you hear this a lot with the east to the west, the pendulum swings. And the pendulum is swung in different directions for different reasons. So it's swinging now to Asia. And the reason for that is because Asia's looking at all the great things of the West and they're saying, well, this stuff's great. We didn't have to pay to develop any of this. We're going to take the ideas and we've got cheaper labor, cheaper energy, cheaper materials, and we're going to develop it. And that's where you're seeing Asia growing a lot faster than the West, which is contracting or not moving at all. But then you've got the other aspect, which is this flip from the hard left to the hard right with the US politically.
Right.
And it's this mindset now of we've been screwed, we need to protect ourselves. So, and Canada, because of the sort of rhetoric around it of the 51st state and all the other stuff, it's a kind of, well, we are going to decide what's best for us. And they're actually surrounding, if you think about Greenland on a map, they're actually surrounding Canada now. I don't know if you ever thought about that. So it's like a blockade in effect on Canada. So if they don't want Canada to do certain policies, I think you could see some radical kind of stuff happen. So will those vehicles come across the border? I'm not convinced they would. I'm really not. In fact, I don't think they would.
We didn't think Toyota would make an impact in the U.S. automotive industry. It did. We didn't think BMW and luxury cars would make a difference. We didn't think the iPhone market. Okay. Yeah. All I got to say to my American friends is, how many American TV and LED manufacturers are there for screen? Yeah. How many computer makers are there in the United States? How many phone makers are there in the United States? Refrigerators, common hard, dryers for your home. Yeah. And maybe I'll be asking this question in 10 years. How many American automotive companies are making new energy vehicles? Who knows? But it's going to get interesting.
I think we're going to actually see less NEVs, not more in the US. And here's why. They haven't done the infrastructure right for NEVs in the US. Yes, Tesla have, but the others really haven't. So there's the first one. B, Trump wants to ramp up now oil and gas.
Yeah, he's got 18 months to do it.
Yeah, and I think he's going to push this hard, and people are going to back off on the NEVs. Again, I'm on the fence with that.
I think, been chatting with you now for the year, is most people think the NEV push is a Greta Thunberg, global warming, that's not the push.
Yeah.
From my perspective here in China, and where I think it's going to make a difference is not the consumer at first in Canada. Yeah. The consumer might say, well, do I buy a BYD for $30,000? They probably will. Some lady and some man might do it, whatever. But it is the Uber markets. It is the guys that run these cars that really cost them money.
Yeah.
And when they start to see, wait a minute, I got a 90% savings in gas. My Uber or Bolt or Grab taxi person or Lyft or whatever it is, they're driving state-of-the-art cars. They're clean. They're very advanced. They're going to say, wait a minute. So I think from the commercial standpoint first, the first company that provides transportation on a cost by cost ridership will take that market, and you could say goodbye to anything. All they have to do is walk into Uber and say, right, we're going to give your drivers such a reduced rate to purchase these cars so it's affordable to purchase them on a leaseback program, and from an energy consumption and a guarantee. That is it. And when you see these cars driving around, you might. Anyway, I'm just putting that in your mind. I mean, something to think about.
The other point here, which I didn't mention, but I'll loop it in now, is that I think we'll actually see a massive reduction in people buying cars in cities, massively. And I think you'll see.
That's a huge hit to the U.S. automobile. That's all the big man talks about down there. Is automotive industry.
If you look at what's happening with the self-driving taxis, and also Elon Musk's plan with the Teslas to actually, you can hire them out when they're not on your driveway and you're not driving them. I think that's going to actually have an impact. Yeah, they're still in the early stages. They're messing it up every day.
Well, we'll see where we are 6 months to a year from now when we meet up next. But okay, so how do people find you? How do people find your courses? Tell us.
Yeah, let's put the link down below in the description. And what I'll do is, for your viewers, I'll give you a crazy discount.
Oh, awesome! Good news
on those courses. I'll give you 90% off.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give you 90%.
We're going to hold this guy to
courses, just because you said that not all of your viewers are wealthy, and some of them may not be able to afford the course, etc. So let's do that. Let's get some of your viewers started on these programs, and let's build them up and get them going.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And once again, Neil is a great guy. You know, him and I, we have sometimes opposing positions and opinions.
Yeah.
And also supportive ones. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, once again, look for all his details in the description below. And of course, one-on-one training, if you want to do that with me, you look for me as well. But anyway, guys, what a fantastic walk and talk again, Neil. Thanks again.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care. We'll talk soon.
Bye now.